a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me. Hello, everyone. It's Tuesday, October 1st. I'm recording this on Monday, and by all means, there's no reason to think that this hasn't happened. So we're going with the International Longshoremen Union is striking over higher wages and a total ban on automation of cranes, gates, and container movements. And container movements that are used in the loading and unloading of freight at 36 U.S. ports. I wanted to talk about this last week. I've been sick, so the COVID knocked the hell out of me. And I think following COVID, I got bronchitis, so I've just been down for like 2 weeks. And I've been running the podcast still, so we've still been hitting driving forward, but just been struggling to kind of keep my head above water. My health is fine. I'm doing fine, but I think I'm going to start coming back online here this week to some extent. And I really wanted to speak on this because I have a strong opinion on this particular strike. And in my opinion, it's unlikely that this strike will go on for long. I'm certainly not an expert. I've been in this industry a long time. It is possible it could go on long, but you have to look at the reasoning behind it and what sort of things would be accomplished and how long it would take to get to those things. The union reportedly can subsidize wages for about 5 days. And I'm not sure how accurate that is, but that's what I've heard through a variety of different sources. And how long will workers go without pay? Additionally, before the strike impacts consumers, it would likely need to go on for more than a month. And most holiday goods have already arrived from overseas. And for the most part, the holiday would be lightly impacted. So if you think about that, what sort of pain is going to be created through this port strike to the general populace? And that means it would need to continue on for over 30 days before things on shelves start to not show up. For every day of a port strike, experts have stated it will take 4 to 6 days to clear up. It's needless to say that everyone involved in the supply chain is nervous about this. If the strike goes on longer than expected, volumes will begin to be rerouted to other ports that are available as well. This is, certainly I'm not in the middle of the wage determination and discussion here, and I'm not one to really weigh in on that. But top scale port workers now earn a base pay of $39 an hour, or just over $81,000 a year. But with overtime and benefits, some can earn more than $200,000 a year. A 2019 report, or 2019 to 2020 report by the Waterfront Commission, which oversees New York Harbor, said about 1/3 of longshoremen based there made over or $200,000 or more. So that's a substantial amount of money. And I'll get into approximately how many hours that they work, but that's also in New York as well. That being said, it's a lot of hours that they're putting in to make that kind of money as well. But once again, I'm really not weighing in, as my opinion does not apply to the hourly work. These guys work extremely hard and put in a lot of time. So a couple of quotes as I dug into this. Ben Nolan, a transportation analyst with Stifel, says going into an election, if ever there was a time that labor can get what they want, it's right now. And that's an extremely unfortunate situation that politics plays into this the way that it is. But it is what it is. As a note, Harold Daggett, the International Longshoremen Union president, stated that longshoremen work up to 100 hours a week. Most of it is overtime, and they sacrifice much of their family time in doing so. As a note, according to Politico.com, Harold Daggett, who was elected into his position 2 decades ago, makes $728,000 a year from the ILA and another $173,000 a year for a total of $901,000 a year as President Emeritus of the 1804-1. For comparisons, the head of the AFL-CIO, Teamsters, and Auto Works unions all make less than $300,000 a year, though the heads of the actors and major league players unions make more than $1 million a year. Daggett has also recently said someone has to get into Congress and say, whoa, time out. This world is going too fast for us. Machines got to stop. Yes, we're getting smart kids out of MIT and all these places. Yeah, they are all brilliant, but what good is it if you're going to put people out of work? Who's going to support their families? Machines? Machines don't have families. For those that believe this may be good for trucking rates, it won't. There may be some rate adjustments in short periods showing the port freight, but overall it will have little to no impact long term. We'll see an up or we'll see a down, we'll see an up, and then it'll be business as usual. There's a lot of noise in various forums saying how this may have a positive impact on trucking rates, and really over the long term, it won't have any impact over trucking rates. But it will have a short-term impact potentially on trucking rates. And those who service the ports themselves will certainly be impacted by them. Is this a strike about wages, automations, or the future? While I sympathize with everyone whose life changes, we need to realize that life does not stay the same. We've gone through cycles of this in the past. Quotes that come to mind to support this are Henry Ford once said, if I asked my customers what they wanted, they'd said a faster horse. Clayton Christensen said, disruptive innovations create jobs that consumers can't even imagine because they create new value that had never existed before. Walt Disney said, we can't just let your customers dictate what you're going to do, because that will lead you down a road of mediocrity. Life is constant change. If you're not growing and evolving, you're standing still while the rest of the world slips past you and leaves you behind. U.S. ports are not leading the world in innovation or TEUs or anything. Leaving behind innovation is not wise. Advancing through wages, advancing and meeting various other requests, I really can't weigh in on that, but I don't feel that limiting innovation is a wise move. And I certainly sympathize that this may equate to a change in positions and a change in the way that we do things. But if we would have said this about the horse back in the day, I don't think our nation's infrastructure would look the same as it does today. So with that being said, stay curious, stay informed, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time, drive forward with purpose and innovation. Thanks for watching.